If you've been looking through my video history and all the music videos I've done, you may come to the conclusion that I very much love Spider-Man. For years he's been my favorite superhero and one of my favorite characters in general. From the movies, The Amazing Spider-Man is severely underrated, to the TV shows, Spectacular Spider-Man died too young, video games, why is 2023 so far away, and of course, the comic books. You suck one more day. But with loving Spider-Man also comes an admiration to most of his rogues gallery, and there are plenty to pick a favorite from. There's the Lizard, Vulture, Doc Ock, Electro, Green Goblin, just to name a few. My favorite Spider-Man villain, however, was always Venom. Aside from being a darker version of Spidey, and arguably starting the dark version of the hero trend, Venom always struck a chord with me. He was big, agile, his black and white color scheme contradicted Spidey's red and blue wonderfully, and should I mention the sharp teeth and iconic tongue? Oh god, please tell me this didn't sound too sexual. As you may have expected, 14-year-old me was really excited to see Venom on the big screen when he was confirmed to be in Spider-Man 3. And it was awful. Yeah, the symbiote effect itself looked neat and I liked the gooey way his suit looked, but then we had everything else. He has less overall screen time than the asshole asking Peter for rent. He's not huge, there's no tongue, Topher Grace is a name I do not accept in my house, he sounds whiny, he goes out like a wuss. I may not loathe Spider-Man 3 like most people do, but Venom was done awfully. Needless to say, I was praying for another attempt at bringing my favorite Spider-Man villain to the big screen. Rumors were floating around for years that a solo movie was in development, but they always came and went without anything happening. 2016 may have been a cursed year, but it gave me a piece of news which I found uplifting. Venom's solo movie was back, it was going to be rated R, at least initially. Tom Hardy was cast as Eddie Brock, and Ruben Filcher was directing. Sounded like the movie I was waiting for all this time. Yeah, there was no Spider-Man in it, but what are you gonna do with the mess that is copyright? 2 years later, the movie came out, my hype was over the limit, the critics hated it, I bought my ticket and did I just say the critics hated it? Huh, guess I did. Turns out the press didn't find the movie as amazing as its existence was to a fan like me. But you know what? Critics can be assholes sometimes, so I didn't let that stop me. I saw the movie and I loved it. I also hated it. I loved parts which were bad, but I also hated things which were good on paper but were done poorly. This movie was very puzzling is my point. With the sequel, Venom Let There Be Carnage making the rounds, I decided to look at this guilty pleasure of mine once again. Also note that at the time in which I'm writing this, Let There Be Carnage wasn't released where I live yet, so no opinion on it as of now. Maybe in a follow-up video, you may never know. Anyway, the Venom movie. If you read the title for this video, you'll rightfully assume that I'm very much in the middle about it. And it honestly fascinates me how a movie can do so much right, and yet so much wrong, and still make me like the wrong just because it is wrong and I should hate it. Man, talking about this movie is complicated. Okay, short recap, spoilers in case you haven't seen the movie. Spaceship crashed back to Earth, brought this alien thing that this guy Drake wants to use for his evil corporate needs. Eddie Brock is a controversial reporter whose life goes to shit after he makes accusations regarding Drake. He breaks into his lab and bonds with Venom. Venom tells Eddie that he needs him in order to help his kind take over Earth. Eddie goes with it, I guess, I don't know. Drake bonds with the other symbiote called Riot, who is actually the leader? Both agree to team up in order to destroy the Earth. Venom decides he likes Earth and Eddie now, for some reason. Both stop Drake and Riot, and Eddie and Venom just to living together, I guess. So what exactly works and doesn't work in this? The basic idea on paper and as I'm describing it isn't that bad actually. I mean, if you have to make a Venom movie without Spider-Man, I guess this is the best option you could have gone with. We've seen movies where two characters meet and through a journey they go on come to like and appreciate each other. And it's honestly fun to see Eddie and Venom having to work together sharing the same body. The problem comes when Venom jumps from "we gotta destroy this planet" to "actually decided to stay, I like it here now," faster than one can process. Keep in mind Venom and Eddie had maybe hours to bond with each other since Venom actually introduces himself, and the only two signs of him starting to like Earth are him enjoying the view and growing appreciation for Annie.
I like her. Get in.
There was a good idea here, but these two things don't transition to character development, especially not one which is equal to "screw my kind, I'm defecting." That's not only annoying because it's rushed, but because you could see the seeds of the good idea that's in here. Venom and Eddie may not bond much, but when they do have the chance to bond, they have plenty of moments with each other which I really like. I like Eddie enjoying the motorcycle chase and thanking Venom for what he does for him.
Thank you. You are welcome.
I like Venom teasing him.
Pussy.
I like how they use code words.
Mask. Copy.
And of course, I love this line.
On my planet, I am kind of a loser, like you.
This line is brilliant, but probably for the wrong reasons. Before the final battle, Venom tells Eddie that he's actually the main reason he decided to stay on Earth and fight Riot, which is actually pretty wholesome. And during that fight, Eddie chooses to bond with Venom on his own will in order to save the symbiote and showing us that he does care about him. The problem is, again, that all of those don't make for a complete story, and I feel like a huge portion of the movie was cut for some reason. What are the chances of getting a Venom Snyder cut-like thing? I'd watch that. So if Venom and Eddie's bromance isn't getting enough screen time, what is the rest of the movie about? Well, we have Drake and Riot, which are underwhelming. Drake I actually don't mind as your generic bad corporate bad type of villain, who thinks he's doing good but is willing to kill innocents makes him an asshole. He's not interested in the slightest, but it seems like Riz Ahmed is having fun with the role, so I didn't mind. Riot, however, boy what a waste. First of all, why Riot? I get not using Carnage too early, I actually appreciate it, but there could have been better options, or at least you could have done better with him. Riot is a character we don't see much of throughout the movie. All he does is bond with a few random people, kills some of those random people on the way, goes to Drake, and now this is our main bad. Again, where did the rest go? Why take over Earth specifically? Was that always the plan and he went for it once some random astronauts cut him and Venom? Well, guess it doesn't matter because both him and Drake die and that was it. Have fun! Both of these aspects needed more screen time. Screen time which they probably didn't get because we had to spend it with Annie and Dan, who are basically pointless. Annie does a bit more and serves some purpose in bringing Eddie to his low point, and Dan does come up with a diagnosis that Eddie might have a parasite in him, but overall I feel like they got way more screen time than they should have, and took away from stuff that actually mattered. Like developing Eddie and Venom's connection, which is kind of, the focus of the story. Action scenes are also half and half, since two of them are great. The apartment fight and the motorcycle chase are great fun thanks to good effects and Tom Hardy's physical performance. I also really like the fight between Venom and the officers, since it shows how scary and predator-like Venom could be. Yeah, you can tell this was meant to be an R-rated movie which was scaled down to PG-13, but I still think those scenes were fun. The final fight, however, is a mess. Riot looks too similar to Venom in order to differentiate between the two, and moreover it takes place during the night, so good luck seeing a fight between two CG characters with a dark color scheme. There are coolish parts in it, but it's sad that your big final battle is barely visible to the audience. So yeah, 3 years after the fact and I'm still conflicted about this Venom movie. I liked Venom a lot this time around in his own movie. He looked great, sounded awesome, had moments which I enjoyed, and I'm glad I can say this is a huge improvement over whatever the hell Topher Grace was. But how much can I ignore the fact that he's in a movie that's rushed and unfocused? To be honest, I can ignore the problems and enjoy this movie for the cheesy mess that it is. But we live in a world where there are so many better options, and Venom deserves to have better options. Hell, after the credits for Venom, we get a sneak peek to Into the Spider-Verse. The best Spider-Man movie ever made, and no, I'm not gonna take questions. We don't only have better and more focused Spider-Man movies than Venom though, we have better and more focused comic book movies in general. Venom felt like it was a few years too late, which is honestly also a part of its charm in some bizarre way. Well, damn it, I talked for minutes about this movie and yet I can't come up with a general opinion regarding this movie. I still enjoy a lot about it while also being baffled about it. One thing I can say for certain though is that I am very much looking forward to seeing Let There Be Carnage and get a better direction regarding the cinematic future of the Little Protector. Until I see that, have a great day and I'll catch you later.